Welcome to the Jared Briggs Show. Welcome to today's live, everybody. Thank you for being a part of this. If you guys have seen this show within the last week or two, we've been doing this every single day, every single weekday. We've been having troubles with Instagram still trying to get it figured out, but it is live on my YouTube channel. You can search at Real Jared Briggs, and then also my Facebook page. I got a personal Facebook, well, kind of like a business, whatever those are called, Facebook page on Facebook, and it's under Jared Briggs. If you're looking for that channel, I've got my personal page, but the one with a picture of me with my logo that's got the JB in the gold, and it says Be the Master, that is the page that all these lives are on. But I've been sharing them to multiple different things. So we've been talking money. We've been talking personal development. We've been talking everything to get better and be better when it comes to our finances. The whole goal, passion, desire, and dream with this is to help people live a better financial life, just sharing information and knowledge that can help people get ahead financially and win more when it comes to your money, your finances, your goals, your dreams, your everything. So you'll see that today the title is How to Stay Motivated for Wealth. There's a lot of stuff calling for our attention. There's a lot of things calling for our money, our attention, our time, all of it. And it's easy to get caught up in it. It's easy to get wrapped up. So we thought of the topic today, how to stay motivated for wealth, because wealth isn't created in a day. It isn't created in a week or a month. It's created over years and years and years of simply executed things that compound over time. That is one thing that is powerful when it comes to money. If you think about money, you can invest money, and if you can get a rate of return of 6%, well, if you leave that in there for a year, great, you're going to get 6% on your money. But if you can add more money to it and get a return and do that over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, the compounding effect is incredible. It's the same way with our lives. If we can do the simple things that we know we need to do and do it consistently over a long period of time, that's how we win. That's how we get ahead. Staying motivated to create wealth. Wealth isn't just money. I don't look at wealth just as money. I look at wealth as time, relationships, experiences, money, access to money, flexibility. Excuse me. I really look at money as it buys options. You guys, money buys options. Money gives you opportunities. Money's never going to buy you happiness. Yeah, you can go out and buy the new phone or the new vehicle or the new house, and it's freaking awesome. But the excitement wears off pretty quick, especially with a new phone. Like, you think you're pretty cool, and then the next day you're like, okay, this is just a phone. Or just a car, or just a house. Like, we love them, we respect them, we're grateful for them. But wealth encompasses everything. There is nothing better than when I run home, or when I go home at the end of the day, and I've got a daughter and a little boy, and they're still young, and they run to me wherever they are. They're in the living room, they're in the kitchen, they're upstairs. As soon as I get home and they know I'm home, they come running, and they got to give me a hug and say hi and show me. My daughter's got to show me what she drew for the day or what happened and all those things. And my little boy's not talking yet, but he's all excited and fun with it too. So that is wealth. That is wealth. I'm going to talk about something that shook me a little bit. And it's silly. It's probably stupid. Honestly, it probably is, but it shook me a little bit. We were woken up. Well, I was awake. But I was like, okay, I'm going to get up, get working out and all that. And right before that, our fire alarm went off, our smoke detector. And it went off in our bedroom, which caused the one in the living room to go off, and then the one upstairs, and it just like domino effect, right? And I'm like, what the crap? Well, I get up, jump up, because I'm like, crap, and hit the light switch, and it's dark. Our power had gone out. And so I grab my phone and hit the flashlight and go out in the living room, and I'm shining it up. Like, where's the smoke? What's going, is something really happening? Is something really on fire? But the power was off. And so I grabbed a pillow and waved it up by the smoke detector, and it shut it off. Weird, but it's happened a couple of times. I've done that. So I'm going to look into it and replace batteries and just check stuff, see if something's going on. But I didn't like that. And I built a fire. So I grabbed some firewood, got in our fireplace, built a fire, and started warming the house back up. Come to find out, my wife got on the power company. The first power outage reporting was at 2:30 in the morning. So we had been without power since 2:30. So I look at our temperature gauge, and we set it at 69. It was down to 65. And then I look, and it's 11 degrees outside. I'm like, oh, dang. So I built the fire, got it going. Well, I've been thinking about putting a solar panel system with a battery system connected into my house. They've now got these control panels that if your power shuts off, it automatically flips a switch so that you start running off your batteries and your solar panels. Just 2-3 years ago, you could buy, like a battery was the size of a fridge, maybe longer than that, but the advancement in technology is incredible with these systems. And I've got a family member that had bought this system. They paid a ton of money for it. And I'm like, man, is there simpler ways? So I started researching, and you can actually buy systems where you do it yourself. You install them yourself. One system I was looking at, it's about 12 to 15,000, depending on how many batteries and stuff. But it comes with solar panels, battery pack, and all this stuff to control and run all of it. $12 to $15,000. And this morning, sitting there, excuse me, I got like a frog in my throat. I was literally sitting on the couch, getting the fire going, and I was asking Nova, AI, remind me about the system. Let's look into this again. And then I said, hey, could I actually use this system and plug my generator into it? I have a 3,500 watt generator that we used to run our camper. And I'm like, could I set up a system where if the house goes down, I could actually plug my generator in the house? And Nova's like, yep, here's what you need, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is cool. And then I was like, could this whole system that I'm looking at that I could do now could also work once I get the solar panels and batteries? Anyway, one thing that it really made me think about this morning is I've got my 2 young kids and my wife. I hated the feeling in the moment knowing, okay, yes, we can heat the house, we can cook, we can do all of those things, but having electricity is really nice. Turning on the lights, using light sockets, charging things, the fridge, all of these different things that we have going on. So we weren't going to freeze to death, but I still didn't like that I'm dependent on the power grid. From a perspective of my fridge, my freezers, the furnace, light sockets, all the power going on in my house. And another thing was like, oh, I got headlamps and stuff like that, but are they charged up? Crap. And I've got ways that I can charge things. But it just made me reflect on my personal situation even more. From a perspective of, in the scriptures, it says, if you are prepared, you shall not fear. I don't like the feeling of, if somebody wanted to attack our power grid, I am vulnerable. I don't like that. That is one thing that I like from a perspective of even studying money in a lot of ways, is because I don't like being vulnerable. I don't want my wealth or my money to be dependent on what the president said that day or what our agreement is with so said country. I don't want my retirement planning. I don't want any of those things to be based off what's going on economically, dependent on other people. Well, looking at that from a perspective of taking care of my family today with the power grid, that is another thing where I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like depending on another system that I really don't have control of. And so I researched in a way to, what could I do from the perspective of the resources that I have now to solve that problem? And I looked at this system where I can literally attach it to my power box now. If this happens again, I can just plug my generator into it. I like that. And then when I'm at the position where I want to buy solar panels and a battery pack, because then I would have the power grid, battery and solar, and generator. So that gives me 3 sources of power for electricity, and I also have the fireplace for cooking and warmth and taking care of those things. I share this because I want all of you to look at it from a perspective of what is wealth. You see, I believe wealth is you have control. Wealth is, it doesn't matter what's going on or what somebody says or what's going on in the economy. You have your life, your things, your processes, your systems in order so much that, yeah, it's a bummer if something happens and we don't like that, but it doesn't affect us. It doesn't change how, where, why, who, what we are. Does that make sense? I look at wealth as all-encompassing. Am I being a good husband? Am I being a good provider? Am I being a good father? Am I being a good business owner? Am I being a good leader? Am I being a good citizen? Am I adding value in all perspectives? You see, we can either be an asset to the United States of America, to our state, to our county, to our community, to our family. We can either be an asset where we bring more value, or we can be a liability. And when we look at things from a perspective, am I an asset to the United States of America and everything that's going on, or am I a liability? If war breaks out, if a pandemic breaks out, if evil breaks out, if the power grid is faulted in any way, the gas, oil, all of these different things, can I be an asset? Can I help? Can I provide? I even shared this with family members from a perspective of, even if something, all these doomsday preppers. Okay, great. Even if you're not into these things, it's still important to be prepared. I don't want to be a doomsday prepper. I'm tired of that kind of crap. Like everybody, they are selling information online from a scared position. If they can get your emotions to rise, then they've got you. Well, I want to help be an asset to share information and thought process. Your batteries and your smoke detectors. When's the last time you changed those things? Like really think about that kind of stuff. But I look at it, and like I shared with family members, if something crazy did break out, I'm going to stay right where I'm at. I'm not going to go, travel to somewhere or someone, because a lot of the family, a lot of them are liabilities. A lot of people in today's world are liabilities. They're out of shape. They don't have a lot of preparation. They don't have a lot of skills. They don't have a lot of resources. And that is the majority of the United States of America. I mean, look how many people, if they can't go to the grocery store, would be out of food within a day or two or more. Most people live day by day when it comes to food. Like they couldn't go without. My problem is right now, and that freaks me out, is I got young kids, milk and all these different things that young kids use a lot of. I guess I could go milk the cows and steal the cow, which is always an option. But when this power outage happened, it made me think in a deeper perspective of, I need to get my stuff even more prepared. I need to be even more independent of the government, of the power grid, of all of these different things that we are dependent on from a societal perspective as the people. And I really love that question of, are you an asset to your family? Are you an asset to the United States of America? Are you an asset to your community? Are you an asset to yourself? Or are you a liability? Remember, an asset is something that brings and gives value. Like a financial asset puts money in your pocket. A financial liability takes money out of your pocket. So think about it. Our vehicles, our home, an apartment, wherever you live, all the things that we spend money on a day-to-day basis, those are liabilities. I don't care if your house is growing in equity. It is still a liability at the current moment because it takes money out of your pocket every single day. And so understanding those things and then looking at it from a perspective of, am I a personal asset in my own life? I share this with the statement of how to stay motivated for wealth. You need to define for yourself what is wealth, because this happening inspired me to take even more action, to step up in even more areas in my own personal life, because all of these things take money. I don't care what people say or what they think when they say, oh, money isn't important. Yes, it is. Money is very important. We use money every single day. We put so much emphasis on education, go to school, get a job, all of these different things, but we never put emphasis on how important money is and our relationship with money. I want you to think about money from the perspective of, if you told money that it's not important, what if you said that to your spouse? Like, what if I told my spouse, oh, you're not that important? Do you think she's going to stay with me for very long? Not a chance. And I wouldn't freaking blame her. I hope she would leave me, because if she's not important, what am I doing? Money's the same way. It operates in the same way. So if it's not important, maybe that's the reason why you don't have very much of it. Okay? So how to stay motivated for wealth is, what are you truly motivated by? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your passions? If your thing is to, like, there's people out there, they want to be completely off grid and be out of the government's radar. Great. I hope you freaking achieve that, because that's important to you. But it's going to take money to get there. It's going to take creating wealth in your own perspective, in your own definition. This is why I say there is no one financial plan that is perfect for everybody. There is zero financial plan that is perfect for everybody, because your goals are going to be different than your neighbors. They're going to be different than mine. They're going to be different than your family members. That's why I love the advice that have big goals and dreams and share them with very few people, because they don't understand the way you think. They don't understand your mind. They don't understand the dreams and goals and desires that God has placed inside of you and within your own mind. And so you need to take action on those things for yourself. So what is the definition of wealth for you? I really want to build up my business and my lifestyle so I don't work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I would love to spend more time with my family. I would love to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy. I would love to spend more time in my hobbies. I'd love to go do more things with my wife and my kids and some other projects and things that I want to do. And so I'm working to build a system and a process and a company that allows that capability. That's a defined thing for me within my own personal life when it comes to wealth. Those are the things that are important to me. So how to stay motivated for wealth is, you need to have that focus. You need to have that defined for yourself, because so many people are depressed. So many people are stressed. So many people are living in anxiety and depression and scarcity and frustration, and they hate their lives. I mean, look at suicide. It's sad. Anytime that I feel low in my life, it's because I've lost vision. I've lost focus of the life that it is that I truly want to have and that I want to live. And every time I get more focused and defined in that, it gets me excited. It gets me motivated. I want to wake up in the morning. I want to take action. I want to make things happen. And so how to stay motivated for wealth is defining what that is for you, and for you only. You don't need to share this with anybody. You don't need to get specific with anybody. It's for you. And if somebody doesn't like it, they can fly a freaking kite. Who cares? Okay? So I share that with you because this experience this morning with the power being out, I'm like, dang, I need to get things a little bit better. I don't like being volatile to a different system or a different process or somebody else. You know, we've got a lot of good people in this area that I live. Rocky Mountain Power is where we get our power. And I know some of the people there. They've come to my house I made a big mistake over the summer. You guys, I was building a fence and I didn't call 811. I made a mistake and the power company had to come fix it. And it cost me like $2,600. I could be mad. I could stomp my feet. I made the mistake. I didn't call 811. So if you're going to dig a hole, call 811. It's free. I don't care if you think you know, you don't know. So I've gotten to know some of the people at Rocky Mountain Power over the last 6-9 months, and they're good people. And I have comfort in that, and I'm grateful for that, I trusted that the power was going to come on. I knew it was going to come on quick. They were going to figure the problem. But my whole town, I looked out the window and it was black. And I'm like, ooh, that's kind of like eerie feeling, right? Like, crap, we depend on power a lot. And I don't like depending on other people for my safety or my providing. And so I want to create a better system and a process and a preparedness so that no matter what happens, I can take care of my wife and my kids no matter what. That is a definition of wealth. That is something that I think is an important thing. But what is your definition? What is important to you? What really, like jerks at your heartstrings and really inspires you? That is what I would look at for you. Okay? I'm going to switch gears now and jump into the money reset. You guys, I talk about this every single day. I talk about it from perspective of I hope I can help one person. I really do. I hope I can help one person be better financially with their money. And I would invite you from a perspective of whatever your goals, dreams, and desires are. If you do things the same way you did in 2025, in 2026, you are going to get the same results. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. So if you have different desires, then you need to learn new information. You need to operate in a different way. And so the goal here is sharing some things about what I call the money reset, resetting yourself with money and putting you in a powerful position with money. So the step number one, and these are 3 steps to increasing income and taking control of your money. Step number 1 is know your income. How much are you collecting every single month? You, your spouse, how much are you collecting? In however, every 2 weeks, every week, every month, however you get paid. How much exactly? Like, do you look at the exact dollar amount down to the cents, how much money you are earning every single month? Step number 2 is creating a wealth creation plan. And a wealth creation plan encompasses step number 1. You need to know your income. You need to know your fixed expenses that are always the same. You need to know your variable expenses and get the best idea you can and recalibrate that every single time you manage your money. You can do it on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, a quarterly basis, however that works for you. And then start creating a wealth creation plan of where you're going to invest your money, save your money, put your money. This process puts you in a position to know where your money's going. You're in charge of your money, and now you're telling your money what to do every single month. You are in charge. You are specific with those things. And then step number 3 is increasing income. You're going to automatically increase income with step 1 and 2 because you're going to remove unnecessary things. You're going to be more mindful of where your money is going and what it is doing. And you are going to start putting money in positions to earn more money for you in the forms of interest, in the forms of dividends, in the form of investing, in the form of growing, in the form of starting a business, in the form of whatever it is that you do with your money. You're going to automatically start making more money because of your discipline. But step number 3, and this encompasses step 1 and 2, is then you now focus on increasing your income. We need to get away from the mindset of how can I save, how can I save, how can I cut expenses, what can I get rid of? It's smart to do and remove waste, right? You need to remove waste, but if that's all you ever do and you don't increase your income, especially in a larger perspective than inflation, you're always going to be behind. Because think about it, if you cut an expense that's and you save $200 a month, well, what happens when they raise taxes or they raise car insurance or they raise property taxes, or they raise your rent, or they raise your interest rate, or your car goes out and you need to buy a new car, or whatever, right? You just got rid of that $200. I've seen it happen where somebody's like, oh, we cut these expenses, but then they raised our rent $200. You're in the same financial position. Good job on cutting, but now you're in the same financial position. Wouldn't you rather? Well, I'm going to share with you, you are in such a better position if you change your mindset from a perspective of, I'm going to focus on increasing. Our mind can only focus on one thing at a time. And my wife and I finally realized, we're like, look, we can look at this and give all of our time, effort, and energy on cutting expenses, or we can get really good at managing our finances and know where our money is going. And once we know and we have a system, we know our income, we have a wealth creation plan, we know what our plan is, let's take all of our time, effort, and energy on increasing income, because it is so much easier to increase income by $200 a month than it is to save $200 a month by cutting expenses. I mean, look at it. We're strapped financially as it is in our current position. Inflation is crazy. You guys, from 2019 before COVID till now, inflation is wild. It is significantly more. Well, what are the chances of that continuing to happen? Even if they statistically raise it 3 to 4%, our dollar is being devalued more and more and more and more and more. Okay, so step number 3 is where the master plan happens, where the wealth creation really happens. We know what's going on. We have a system, but now we're going to take all of our extra time, effort, and energy and put that towards increasing income. How can I increase $200 a month? Well, if you can do $200 a month, why couldn't you do $500 a month? If you can do $500 a month, why couldn't you do $1,000 a month? If you can do $1,000 a month, why couldn't you do $10,000? There is no limitation. The only limitation we have is within our own mind. And so step number 3 is increasing income, starting to look at life from a perspective of, what am I missing? What am I not seeing? What are some new skills that I could develop? What are some things that I could do within my company that I own, or within my job? Could I get some different certificates? Could I do some other trainings? Could I learn other team members' jobs and become more valuable and take on more and be more efficient? Could I make my life simpler and be more profitable? Could I remove a bunch of waste in my life where I take that time and increase income, start a side hustle? The options are unlimited. And so that's where you start, like, okay, I'm gonna stop focusing on my money from a negative perspective, and I'm going to focus on increasing my income, because I know what's going on with my money. That's where it really happens. A great investment is in yourself. Invest into your knowledge. Invest into your skills. Hire people that know things that you want to know or that you want to develop. Maybe your goal is to become a social media manager or do marketing. Well, there's lots of programs out there to teach you how to grow these businesses. Go buy somebody's program for $500 to $1,000, learn everything you can, and start implementing those things. Anything to increase income. So that is a system and a process that I believe in, and that I want all of you to share with you. If you want to learn more about this, there's a great book called The Richest Man of Babylon. This book really teaches money management and growth, focusing on an abundant perspective and putting your money to work. It is really good. So you need to know your income, step 1, create a wealth creation plan, step 2, and then focus on an increasing income, step 3. Then from there, then you start studying investing and all kinds of stuff, and just continue to further and build your plan. All right, I've been doing something over the last, I think Tuesday last week. So this is day 6 of going live. And I've been enjoying going on to Reddit. So I'm going to go on to Reddit, and I'm going to find some questions and answer some questions. So if you're on Reddit and I read your thing, that'd be awesome. Okay, this is right off of Reddit. In the Saving Money page, it's from additional_twist_595. Doing everything right with money and still feel stuck. I have been budgeting. I stopped ordering food every day. I track my spending. I even cut subscriptions. Good freaking job. Everyone online keeps saying small habits add up, but I swear it feels like nothing is moving. You guys, this is from a perspective of, cool, you can cut those things, but if you still feel stuck financially, what if I gave you another $5,000 a month in income? Would you still feel stuck? No, you'd be like, well, now what do I do with this money? What can I invest in? What can I grow? How can I improve my life? Maybe I can do things to buy back my time. Like, it would get your mind working in a different way. I don't even want to be rich. I just want to feel, I just don't want to feel stressed every time I open my bank app. The worst part, you do want to be rich. Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, guys. Permission granted. Be honest. You want to be rich. Rich is okay. You want to be wealthy. You want to live your life the way you want to live it because that's how you want to live it. You don't want money to be telling you what to do. Like, look, think about it. When you go to the grocery store, does the dollar amount decide what you buy? When you go to the restaurant, does the dollar amount decide what you order? When you go buy a vehicle, does the dollar amount decide the vehicle you buy? When you go on vacation, does the dollar amount decide the vacation you go on? When you buy a gift for somebody, does the dollar amount decide what gift you are buying? Wouldn't it be freaking cool to never look at the price again? Wouldn't it be really cool to live life the way you want to live life because that's the way you want to live life? Money tells us what to do every single day. What food to order, where to go, when to go, how to go, what type of gas you want to buy, what type of car you want to buy, the gifts, the clothing. So let's be honest. Just don't want to feel stressed. The worst part is the mental load, constantly thinking about money. That is the worst part, 100%. People sit here and say money isn't important and I don't want to be rich. Yet the worst part is the mental load, constantly thinking about money. Optimizing every decision, feeling guilty if I spend $10 on something fun. Is that just adulthood or am I missing something? You see, I believe we're missing something. I don't believe God put us on this earth to stress about money. I don't. I do not believe that God put us on this earth to stress about money. I really don't. Because right now, it feels like I'm putting in effort with zero feedback or reward. I would ask the question, what do you want? Do you know your income? Do you have a plan? And then are you focusing to increase income? Because right here it says, I feel guilty if I spend $10 on something fun. Well, what if you started planning for that within your financial system? You say, hey, I'm gonna give myself $25 a month to blow on whatever it is that I want. I'm gonna start there. Maybe I can increase my income enough I could give myself $250 a month. But what if I started there? What if you created a plan and in the plan it solved all of these problems? That's what I would advise. I don't believe this is just adulthood or adulting. I believe this is what we've been taught. I believe this is what the Federal Reserve and the whole financial system that's been set up in the world. Why do you think there is no financial education in elementary, middle school, high school, or college? Do you think that's just because? I believe it's for a freaking reason, ladies and gentlemen. Like, really think about it. We deal with money every single day. Every day we deal with money. Why are we not taught what money is, how money works, and what to do with money? Oh, maybe because if the very top people, the Federal Reserve, the IRS, whoever is involved in all of these things, maybe if they can take out education and they keep us people, the low income, the middle class, if they keep us stupid when it comes to money and they tell us go to school, get a good job, pay your taxes, invest into your retirement accounts, invest in taxes, save a little bit of money, and do all of these things, they have control. They have complete control. I want you to just think about it for a second between taxes, between all the financial markets, between stocks, between mutual funds, between all of these different systems and processes. Who is really benefiting? Really? Who is honestly, full-heartedly benefiting? Why don't we start questioning the system? Okay? You're not stuck. You're caught up in a system. I just shared this with the power grid. I don't like the system. I'm dependent on a system. So I'm gonna add some things to my house that remove me from dependency on the system. Well, what if you learned what money is and how money really works, and then you started learning what to do with money, and you put yourself in a powerful position to start making decisions based on education and knowledge instead of being told what to do? That's the advice I would share in that situation. Can I move out? Let's try this one. So bulky underscore fix underscore 5381. It's in the moving out section. Reddit's cool, you guys. This one says asking advice. I live in Ontario, Canada. I have a full-time job and about $15,000 saved. Good for you. I'm looking at a unit that is $1,200 a month with utilities being a flat $50 every month. So you're $1,250. That's awesome. I overestimated my yearly income and just realized I make $27,000 a year. Each paycheck is just over $1,300. So each month I'm making about $2,650. Is this enough to rent with, and will be landlords accept this? Just looking for advice because people in my life aren't helpful. Way to, congratulations on saving up your money, and way to have some cojones and ask questions and have some humility in that. That's cool. Humility always isn't always the answer, but it's cool to strip our pride and realize, hey, I don't know something. What do you think? I would look at your finances from a full perspective. You know, $1,250 a month for rent. That's almost half your income. I mean, that pretty much is half your income. Do you really need maybe that big of an apartment? Could you do something smaller? Or could you get creative and get a roommate where you split that? So now you're each paying half. You know, what is that, $625 a month? $625 a month is a lot different than $1,250 a month. Get creative that way. I have a family member that did that. They got an apartment. They weren't married yet. They rented the other 2 rooms to other renters. They were pretty much paying nothing. Like it's super cool. Get creative. Or if you don't want that option, maybe look for something a little bit cheaper, but look at yourself financially from a full perspective. Worst case scenario, are you good? Best case scenario, are you good? Look at it from that perspective. Need advice on debt. So this is in the debt section. Statistic. I don't know. STATISTICIAN 3693. I kind of like Reddit, how nobody uses their real name. It's kind of cool. Anyway, here's some questions. Had a higher income and was able to pay, but now I have a reduction of income and I need some advice on how to move forward with this debt. I do plan on getting a second job soon. Also included with that, some on and off bad spending habits, which I cut all my cards and am done with. $4K on personal loan, $12K personal loan, 5.5 Wells Fargo credit card, $58, 0% interest until July 2026. Okay. Capital One credit card, $14,000. Apple Card, $1,200. Car loan, $28,000. Gosh damn. No payment from me. Family member is fronting the bill, auto pay per month. In my name, unfortunately. Yes, they are very trustworthy relative. Okay, so the car loan. No payment from me. Family member is fronting the bill, auto pay per month. In my name, unfortunately. So is it their car? That doesn't make sense. $1,550 is left after rent, utilities, and minimal grocery spending. Unfortunately, my method of snowballing would mean I will not be making payments on my Capital One. Left after rent, utilities, and minimal grocery spend. Okay, so that after that $1,550 must not be any payments towards those things. Okay. I will not be making payments on my Capital One and 2 personal loans. I did try calling them, and they told me that my account is in good standing and that I would basically need to miss payments in order for them to offer hardship. Any advice on how to go about this? DMP is ideal, but the last two I had Capital One would not work with them at all. At this point, I know my credit is going to tank, but settling might be the best chance for me to get out of this hole or a hardship plan with the decent monthly payments for all three. I really don't want to declare bankruptcy at 24. No, don't freaking declare bankruptcy at 24. Make a plan and get after it. Because, I mean, if you have the opportunity to get another job, get another job. You know, even if that job's part-time and you make an extra $1,000 a month, freaking get after it. I'm going to do some math here real quick. Oh, so on personal loan, $230 a month, personal loan, $430 a month, Wells Fargo, 0% interest, $58 a month, Capital One, minimum's $330 a month. Can pay off next month. Okay, pay off the Apple credit card. Pay everything off you can right now. But let me add these things up and just get an idea. So 4,000 plus 17,000 plus 5,500. Nope. 55 plus 14 plus 12. $41,700 in personal loans and credit cards at 24 years old. Hey, it's all right. You made some mistakes. You done some dumb things, but at least you're 24. You've got a long freaking time to make this better and learn from it. If you were 74, things would look a little bit different. It'd be like, well, frick, what the heck do I do, right? Even at 74, you still got a lot of time left. But 24, create a plan, okay? The Wells Fargo credit card, so you've got the $1,200 loan, get it. Done, gone. Then I wouldn't, you can worry about interest rate. A lot of people get caught up in, I'm going to pay the highest interest rate off first. I mean, you can go that strategy depending on what you like, what you don't like. I'm a big person. I like to see progress. One thing that I enjoy about like working on a ranch and having cows is a lot of the times, like when I'm working, like building fence or doing something, you can see the progress. I like to see the progress. I like to feel the progress. I would do that for you in this situation. Your lowest one is that Apple credit card. The Apple credit card, you can pay that off next month. Pay that sucker off, okay? Get that sucker paid off. Go get another job. Go make income any way you can. Freaking start detailing families' cars. I did that right out of high school. I would detail cars for the fun of it to make a little extra spending cash. Charge $250. One day, you just paid for your $4K personal loan payment. Okay? Do that every day you can, or go get a side job. Work freaking 16 hours a day. Put in that work. You could be debt-free in a year. You could go make a side $42,000. You guys, we got to stop capping ourselves. We got to stop limiting ourselves. We got to stop thinking all hope is lost, because guess what? No hope is lost. You just got to take the bull by the horns and freaking make it happen. I would create a plan for you where you get to where you're making all your minimum payments. You don't want your credit to tank. Credit cards are a tool. They're an asset. You don't want your credit to tank. You want to be able to continue to use these things. We just got to get this crap under control. So I would advise and inspire you to create a plan where it's like, all right, I'm going to get it to where I have all my minimum payments, and then I'm going to create a wealth creation plan and account in my bank account. I'm going to set up like a money market account, and I'm going to stash as much freaking money into that account as I can, because seeing that grow is going to be motivating. You see $100 in there, and then 500, and then 1,800. You're going to be like, oh, frick, this is working. How can I get more? How can I get more? How can I get more? And then set up a plan. Hey, every time I got 2K, I'm going to take 1,500 and put down on the lowest one. Okay? I'm going to, boom, put it down. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? So you always have $500 or $200 or $1,000, whatever your system is, because you never want to drain yourself down to nothing. Because then what happens when an emergency happens? What happens if your tire blows? What happens if your taxes are due? What happens if X, Y, and Z happens, or you have some medical thing come up and you got a $500 copay? You don't want to be stuck with nothing, because then guess what? Now you got to use the credit card again, okay? And paying interest sucks. We need to get into a system where you're earning interest, not paying interest. So I would advise you, create a plan. Get your income, get your expenses all listed out, and then be like, I'm going to start stashing money. How can I earn an extra $250 a week? How can I earn an extra $1,000 a month? How can I earn anything? And start piling money. Start looking for money in nooks and crannies. Where's all your change? Do you have change on the floor in your car? Do you have change in the cup holder? Start piling everything you can and start putting that money to work for you. Okay? Start looking for money. Start looking for opportunities. Maybe you're at your job and you overhear somebody talking, oh man, I could really use somebody to help me with this. I would pay them X, Y, and Z. Clean houses, clean cars, shovel sidewalks, snow, go cut grass, do something. Guys, there's an unreal number of things that you can do. Go get a second job. Everybody is hiring. Every freaking business in this world is hiring right now, except for the ones that are laying off, which are like a lot of big tech companies and stuff. I realize there's changes coming in the economy, but put yourself in a position to capitalize on the change. Create a plan, get crazy, don't file bankruptcy. You are so far from bankruptcy. Just get after it and you'll be debt free. You'll have all this stuff. And now you've created a system. This is why I get excited about this, you guys. That's why, sorry if I talk too fast. This is why I really like this and talking about these things. And the reason why I like the system of don't pay everything extra to the credit card company, because now you've created a habit of giving extra to everybody else. I want you to create a habit of creating wealth. I want you to create a habit of putting money in your wealth creation account where you're compiling $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 a month into a wealth creation account. Because guess what happens? You pay off that $4,000 loan, you have $230 extra. You've been building a bunch. Now that $230 a month goes into your wealth creation account and builds and builds and builds and builds. Now you start knocking out that $17,000. Well, I'd get the Wells Fargo credit card paid off. So you're making the $430 payment. You're building, you get that Wells Fargo credit card paid off. You keep building, you pay off that $14,000 credit card. You keep building, you pay off that $17,000 credit card. And then you're done. But now you've created a habit and a system and a process. Everything extra goes into this wealth creation account. Well, crap, I don't have debt now. Maybe I should invest in my knowledge. Maybe I should start a retirement investment plan. Maybe I should go on a vacation, enjoy my freaking life, right? Create a system, create a process, create a plan, and then just start executing that plan. Your hope's not lost. You're all right. You're doing good. You are doing good. All right. We're going to go maybe one or two more. Let's see what they're at. Earning is saving money. I got to see what this is. Even if you have enough savings in financial, never release your tensions. I don't understand what this person is asking, so I'm going to move on. If you have a job, here's a question. Let's go with this one. Investing for Beginners by critical_foot8950. Where to put my money? Hi, guys. I want to start working the money that's in my checking account because it feels like it's getting lost and doing nothing for me at all. I have around $10,000 in my checking and want to start investing, but I have no idea what to do. Good for you. Great job. What would you guys recommend? I'll be open to any suggestions that would either slowly make me money or have risk for a higher reward. Thanks. What do you want to accomplish? That's the number one thing I would ask, and I ask in all of these conversations. What is it that you desire to accomplish when it comes to your finances? Is having access to the money important? Is growing it in a specific way important? Is investing in a specific way? Do you like stocks? Do you like mutual funds? Do you like life insurance? Do you like real estate? Do you like business? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to, what is your goal? Because if you're like, oh, my goal is I really want to be my own business owner. Let's ear tag that money for that. Where can you get the best rate of return right now? But at the same time, I would start focusing on those things. You guys, in my opinion, it's silly to try to earn interest on something that has a purpose. I have money sitting in specific accounts, and it's ear tagged for a specific purpose. I don't care what the interest rate is on it. I could, and I get why people do. I get it, but that just takes more time, effort, energy. And I'm like, am I really going to sit here and study one bank or one credit union or one this to earn an extra $40? Or should I just take all that time, effort, and energy and develop my skill, develop my business, develop my plan? So what's important to you? Like, I don't care about earning interest on my money in my bank account. Cool, I do. There's a little bit. There's freaking $30 a year or whatever it is. Like, it's nothing. But I'm never going to create wealth doing that. I'm going to create wealth by increasing income. You guys, if earning interest was the greatest thing, people wouldn't focus so much on their income. Does that make sense in some way? Because I talked about this yesterday. If somebody said, what should I do with my $5,000? And I said, my answer was, you should go invest into yourself. Because what if you could take that $5,000, invest it into yourself, and increase your income by $30,000 a year? I'm going to do the math for you guys real quick. If you are 25 years old and you plan to retire at 68, divide by 25, or gosh dang it, 68 minus 25, that's 43 years. Well, what if I could increase my income by $50,000 a year because of my skills? And I did that for 43 years. That's $2,150,000. I just earned $2,150,000 over the next 43 years. So I would ask this person, this critical_foot 8950, I would ask you, like, what is your true goal and desire? Because it's great to put that $10,000 in checkings or in investment or something. But what if you invested that and you increase your income by X amount of dollars, and then it puts you in a position to save $100,000 a year? And then you're like, okay, I'm going to take this $100,000 a year and I'm going to invest it into a side business or stock market or crypto or real estate or whatever. You're in such a better position. You're, saving $8,300 a month into something is way better than $800 a month. So what is your goal? What is your desire? What is it you're really trying to accomplish? If you're just like, hey, I don't want nothing, I just want to make a little bit more money on this, cool, go study for that perspective. Use AI. Hey, AI. I'm going to show you guys how I use AI. Okay, so here's ChatGPT. It opened a new window. Do you see this little microphone button in the where it says ask anything? Do you see what it's doing? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit closer. Do you see what it's doing? Hey Nova, I'm just using this as an example. Blah 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 blah. Okay? Then you hit that up arrow and send it. And watch this. Nova's, I named my AI thing Nova. It typed that in there. It literally put the blah, 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 blah. Yep, I see exactly what you're doing. You're basically live narrating a demo. Okay, so go in there. I'm going to delete that one. Go in there and be like, hey, I'm looking to earn more interest on my money. I've got 10 grand saved. I want to do this, this, and this, and this. Give me the top 3 things, whether it be investing in a bank, in a stock market, in a mutual fund, in life insurance, in crypto, in real estate, in whatever. Like, you guys, there's so many financial tools and resources out there. Unreal amounts of stuff. So what is your goal? What is it that you really want to do? Get specific with that. That's what I would invite you guys to do. All right. Yes, we've been doing this for 54 minutes. I can't freaking believe that. Side hustle while studying. Hey, there you go. All right, we're going to do this one. I just seen this. No-neighborhood 9339. Side hustle while studying. Hello, I'm 22, completed my graduation and completely pursuing professional course. I ain't doing any job right now, giving attempts for the course. What side hustle I can do, or what are the ways to earn while studying? I have some ideas, but still need a proper guidance. I give my 9 to 10 hours a day for study and breaks included. Guidance needed. Thanks in advance. What do you want to do? What do you like doing? What's fun to you? What could you do every single day because you enjoy doing it, and you would do it because you don't need to make money? Or what interests you? What would you like to learn about? Go get some. Do you know what I wish I would have done? Right out of high school, I wish I'd have moved like out east or Texas or something for a year, 2 years. I wish I would have went and worked for a farmer. I like farming. I like driving tractors and stuff like that. I wish I would have went and worked for a farmer right before I got married and stuff. Like I would love that kind of experience. Maybe I would hate it. Maybe I would got 6 months into it, but now I know. Or I don't know why I've always been kind of a little bit pulled to Texas, Dallas, Texas area, or the suburbs. There's so many cool areas around there. Freaking go move somewhere, or go take a job that you would never think of doing. Go be a waiter. Go be a barista. Go be a car salesman. Go be a life insurance salesman. Go be a freaking stripper. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, do whatever you want to do. That was just for funny. Like, go do whatever you want to do and go get experience. This is a good job, a good question, but like really go. I mean, you're 22. You've got so much time. It's unreal. Go explore. Open your mind up. Like, what is something I've never thought of? Honestly, ask yourself, what is something that I have never thought of? And let your mind, get out a notebook, get out a piece of paper, and start writing things down, and start writing your interest. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is today's show. We started off talking about how to stay motivated for wealth. I talked about my experience with today's power outage. I woke up. It was kind of an interesting experience. It woke me up to my own life. We talked about the money reset. Number 1, know your income, create a wealth creation plan, and then increase your income. And then we read a bunch of questions on Reddit and talked about those things. So I appreciate this. We're going to chop this up into other content and other information. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you take control of your life and you become the master of your life. You guys be the best. Have a great day.